Okay, so we're adding player attack to the thing. So I'm going to go, the first thing that I need to do is get rid of stuff from the last class. There we go. And I'm going to go to my third person input, and we need to add an action for attacking. Now we've already added a sprint, so what do we need to do? Add an attack. So right click, input, input action. We'll name it IA attack. Anything else I need to do here? The other part, yes. So we're back to input. Go to the IMC default. We'll open that. Currently, we've got a jump, move, look, and sprint. So we need to add an attack. So we hit the plus, add IA attack, which is alphabetical right there at the top. And what do we want the attack key or mouse movement to be? Oh, okay. We're just going to go left. Left mouse button for an attack. Usually right mouse button is for look around. So we'll leave left mouse for attack. And if you have a gamepad or gamepad controller or something like that, you can also add the attack for the gameplay for a controller. But I don't have one on my system right now, so I'm not going to worry about it. So that's finished. We save. We can close the IMC default. So that is now there. What's the next thing we need to do? I'm sorry. Oh, I can bring that up. No problem. Yeah, just left mouse button. No worries. Okay. So my third person controller, I'm giving you a great big hint here. In my event graph, what do I need to do? Add the attack, just like we did for our input mapping to handle sprinting, enhanced input IA sprint. We now need to do the same thing for attack. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom so that I have room to do that. And right click, IA attack. There we go. Now, as I said, you can draw a lot of what needs to be done from the monster attack script. So looking at your monster attack script, what would be a good thing to do? And, well, let's jump over to BP monster. So here's my, where's the attack? Chase and attack. That, is it chasing it? Yeah, this is it. So we aren't worried about chasing. The player's going to handle chasing. So this whole first part here, we don't need, correct? All we're worried about is what happens when they have what we referred to before as on success. Yes? So let's, well, I'm not worried about checking to see if the player's alive. So we can go over here to sequence. Excuse me. So we need a sequence, and then we're going to check and see if what we're attacking is in range to do damage to it. So back to third person. What should this be? Should it be a triggered, started, ongoing? You could go triggered. Let's try it. I mean, worst case situation is we have to change it to another one. So triggered, and we need to start a sequence. And I think I'm only going to have 2 in my sequence, so that'll be easy. What's the next thing? Referencing back our BP monster. Check and see if the creature we're attacking is in range, also referred to as sphere trace for objects, which checks for a radius. Now, let me show you something really cool. I basically need all of this and this and this. Yeah. So I can right click and copy and paste. Cool. Yes. So what radius, well, I'm going to let you determine what is the radius in centimeters that I can hit. That's for you to determine. I'm going to go with around, I think 200. That'd be 2 meters. My character has a nice long sword, so I think 2 meters is a reasonable amount. What can they hit? Looking back here at monster, should be a pawn. So we need to make an array off of our object type. So off of object of type, we're going to have an array. I think that's it. Nope, that's not it. We could, that's actually a lot easier. Make array. So copy and paste an array to object array. And again, it is a pawn. Now, the nice thing is that this mesh is still drawing from my character mesh, whereas my BP monster, where I'm using mesh and forward vector, is drawing from the monster mesh. The monster mesh. I was wondering if anybody would go there. So we have the monster mesh. No, the monster mesh. So now it should be within range. Next, did they successfully hit? So we need to do a branch, or we can go back here to BP Monster because we're lazy and copy all of that because it's all the same. Copy, third person, and paste. And you need to go ahead and make some of your connections. Now, instead of using base damage here, because I haven't created this variable, if I save and compile right now, I need to either create a base damage variable, which that could work if we're switching weapons, right? So maybe that's the best thing to do if we're going to have multiple types of weapons. So I'm going to, actually I'm going to just delete this and drag off of it again and tell it to promote to variable, which creates my variable right there. Isn't that lovely? Yay. But we do need to now save and compile so we can give it a default value. I'm going to say this, how much damage should this, we could randomize it, of course, but for right now, let's just put a base damage for your weapon. Now, if you're just using fists, just wonder, you've all played RPGs before. Different weapons do different amounts of damage. So I'm going to put the base damage for my sword on this to be 10. But you set it to however you want. And that gives us a nice variable that when we swap out weapons, we can change that damage. Yes?
Base damage is getting.
Did you delete it and recreate it? Because it is a variable, and I am getting an error as well. Oh, I haven't set knockback. Because, again, what was knockback before? Was it a variable? Yes, it was a variable. So, again, delete, promote to variable, call it knockback. I think we set it as a float before. Yeah, it was a float. Change the variable type. Oh, I have work to do. Or Unreal has work to do. We'll let Unreal do all the heavy lifting. And done. Anything else we need to do?
We don't have the sound.
We don't have sound, which back here to our sequence, what a great place to put that. And this time, I don't want to just simply do audio. I need to play my animation. Right? 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 Yeah. Uh-huh. There's a couple of different ways, depending on what character you're using. My character has an animation montage created for attacking. But you could just simply play an animation. So, again, play animation. Could be a mesh, could be montage. Mine's a montage. So I'm going to play a montage. And then I can even set what montage I want it to play. And it should go through and give you everything. Slow.
For some strange reason, I'm on VP third person, and now I see all the rat animations, which I didn't have access to in
Yeah,
VP.
they weren't compiled before. And I'm just going to select one at random. And then when that, we also want it to play our sound. Now, usually we want this to play the sound at the location, right? Because we have 3D audio available to us. So we need to know what is the player's or the mesh's location. That would be the character movement, I think. Yes? No. So let's just get player location. Actor location. We should be able to draw it off the third person. Or maybe the mesh. That doesn't look right. No, I don't think it's transform location either. Or we can just be lazy and play sound. Because it is the player, after all. And then you can select what audio you want it to play. There's lots of them.
Yeah, that's the sound I want to play every time.
And there we have a basic attack. Now your character can attack.
You just have to play what this works.
And if it doesn't, you fiddle with it until it does.